How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Oprah Winfrey pushing quote unquote wokeness on her brand new show called The Oprah Conversation. That'll be available exclusively over on Apple TV. And by the way, this is not a covert ad at all. I don't get any monies from Oprah or Apple TV or anybody on the show, but we got to talk about it because she's pushing this whole idea of white supremacy and white privilege. Really ridiculous things. And the most ironic part about it is that she's pushing it to a majority white audience. Well, before we go down that road, let's roll a couple of clips. In these clips, you'll see white lady on there, just feeling real guilty, all this and that. Then you'll see what Oprah says. After we get done watching those couple of clips, I'll come back. I'll talk about what they said. Then I'll give you my 2 cents, my deep, detailed analysis. And then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
I've traveled, and as white people, we even the poorest of the poor, I feel still has a leg up. And it's
and
really
the leg up is what I was saying. You still have your whiteness. That's what the term white privilege is. It means that whiteness still gives you an advantage no matter what. What I was going to say, and then I'll let you answer it. White people. There are white people who are not as powerful as the system of white people, the caste system that's been put in place, but they still, no matter where they are on the rung or the ladder of success, they still have their whiteness.
All right, so you saw that, you heard that. Now, this little niche type of content that she's producing is really interesting because, like I was saying earlier, it's for a mostly white audience and mostly white female audience. The same way it's always been. Okay, let's go back to the beginning of Oprah's career as a daytime talk show host back in the 80s. Her stuff was always kind of like wholesome. It was a daytime talk show, so she would have book clubs and wholesome feel-good stories. Other moms on there talking about what's going on. She had some really famous interviews. The time Cruise got on the couch and was dancing around. I love all this and that. That was her whole general thing. She do giveaways. You get a car. That was Oprah for 20 something years, right? But now times have changed and we're getting into the wokeness part of Oprah's career and into the country in general. So she's just shifted from the book clubs and the car giveaways and the Tom Cruise couch riding interviews to now I got wokeness on deck for the very same audience. Her audience back then was the suburban stay-at-home white mother. That was her core base. Of course, you had black women that loved Oprah, Asians, Hispanics, but her core base has always been the white woman. All right. Especially during the Oprah show days, it was a stay-at-home mom because she had a daytime talk show. But now, on Apple TV, they can just get that on the go when on the subway in New York City or wherever they are. They could be at work just chilling and listening to that in their headphones and the iPod with the earbuds, whatever they call them. You understand what I'm saying? That's what's going on right now. She's updated her content for the very same audience, just in a way to where it makes sense right now in 2020. Now, the craziest part about this is that she's talking about how much white people are, in control and having an advantage. Some may see that as trying to attack white people. And in a way it is, because when things go wrong, you want to blame the white man for it. Everything's the white man's fault. But at the same time, you're kind of like giving them this big leg up. You're giving white supremacists fuel for whatever they say. Okay, this was what was said back in the slave days, where they said it didn't matter how poor a white man is, he was always above the black person. Okay, that's what I heard from what they were saying. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But it doesn't make sense. I'm out here in Tennessee, right? And I see some true poverty. All right, some true poverty from white folks. I'm seeing elderly white women now digging in trash cans for something to eat. Elderly. I'm talking like 80 years old, head full of gray with a cane, digging in trash cans. Where's the white privilege at? Okay. And going back to where I was born, West Virginia, Kanawha County, shout out to y'all out there. You got some actual, like, legitimate, almost like not even United States poverty. No running water, no heat, AC, none of that. Barely even got a house. All right, you up in the holler, little crack in the mountain, you up there, you're totally forgotten about the poor white person, in my humble opinion. And I think y'all will pretty much agree, are as forgotten about as a Native American, maybe even more, because the Native American at least get some attention. You know, they got the casinos and, you know, other things going on. They got little NGO stuff to slide through, but the rural, poor white person, totally forgotten about. You know, I could take you right now to some areas that are totally isolated in West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, really West Virginia, and you'd be totally shocked at the poverty that you see. Nothing like inner city. Inner city is like Shangri-La to them compared to what they got going on up in the hollers and whatnot, just living off the land, canning food. It's a whole different world. Okay, so where is their privilege at? So you telling me the old lady, 80 years old, digging in the trash still has an advantage over me? How about you, Oprah? You've built your whole $1 billion, not million, billion with a B, dollar empire on white women. So what are you talking about? Racism, all these other obits in this. I can't tell. I mean, you've not experienced that. Maybe you had a bad childhood. Of course you did. You had poverty and whatnot, but you're very successful right now in 2020. But the in vogue thing is to be quote unquote woke. And a lot of white women will tune in because you got a lot of white liberals out there that want to hear that, you know. But what I hear is it doesn't matter how bad I am. Like if they're going through a bad time in their life, right? They got a divorce, the kid's crazy, beating them in the head, all this, that, and the third. They're going to think, you know what? It doesn't matter how bad things get. I'm always better than the black person. And that gives them self-esteem. All right. So when they go out there with the Black Lives Matter sign, who is it for real? Is it for us, you know, the black people in America, or is it for whoever's holding the sign? Is it a selfish thing? Okay, you're seeing Black Lives Matter protests over in Provo, Utah. How many black folks live in Provo, Utah? Probably about 4 or 5, and they all live in the same house. All right. So why are they out there protesting for Black Lives Matter there? It's not even about black folks. It's about themselves. Whoever has a sign holding it up talking about Black Lives Matter, they're doing something for them, not for anybody else. It's a selfish thing. And what Oprah is doing is just feeding that need to be validated, to, you know, have some self-esteem, and to just kind of like just beat up on themselves. You also got other races that watch because they want to join in it. You had the guy, the former NFL linebacker. And when I say that loosely. He played like 14 games, had 33 tackles. But anyway, he has a show talking about, talking to a black man, comfortable conversations. He was on there kind of like for just a window dressing. He wasn't even really talking. It wasn't even really about him. It was just about, you know, white liberals going on there, confessing their sins, at the same time being able to get some kind of gratification from it. It was a selfish process. It was not really, it was to humiliate them, yes, but they were getting satisfaction from the humiliation because they're perceiving it differently than the outside world is, if that makes any sense. So as I close, I'm going to say this. Oprah is not fooling me with this whole wokeness that she's pushing. It ain't nothing but just another formula to appeal to the very same audience she always has throughout her entire career. As long as I've been alive, you know, I'm 35, I'm 36 and a little bit here. And she's been around pretty much my whole life since I was a baby. Okay. She's been talking to the same kind of people. She's just updated her program for what's happening right now. And of course, there's a big money bag behind it. Like I said, she has her own TV network. You got a whole TV network, ma'am, called OWN. So why is this Oprah conversation show not on the Oprah Winfrey Network? It's because you're getting money from Apple TV to do it. You probably got a big bag of money to go out here and push white wokeness, guilt, all this and that and the third, and also white supremacy, because you said no matter how low a white person gets, they will always be above a black person. And to me, that is the epitome of white supremacy. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that Oprah is pushing white wokeness and white supremacy and this whole updated concept of what she had back in the 80s and 90s and 2000s? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. Or do you think this is necessary conversation? It's got to be had because white folks got to be taking the task? Is it really about that? Or is it about just trying to get money, trying to appeal to a certain demographic? You guys know where I stand on it. It's really about money. It's about just being woke. And it's not even really going to help anything go forward. People say, oh, we got to have these conversations to help so much. Who do they really help? Okay, what do you really gain from seeing some random white lady come on there and cry about how much she is superior to you as a black person? How does it help you at all? What is it going to do for anybody? Nothing, but just generate a bunch of revenue for Apple TV and for Oprah Winfrey, and for the guy that's on there who might get paid a ham sandwich. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.